She said, no tax on it. How about just no tax? You could do that. You know, if the tariffs work out like I think, a thing like that could happen, if you want to know the truth. You know, years ago, 1870 to 1913, we didn't have an income tax. What we had is tariffs, where foreign countries came in and they stole our jobs, they stole our companies, they stole our product, they ripped us off. And, you know, they used to do numbers, and then we went to a tariff system, and the tariff system made so much money. It was when we were the richest, from 1870 to 1913. Then we brilliantly came in with an income tax. No, we don't want others to pay. Let's have our people pay. And then you had the Depression in 1928, 1929. I call it 1929. That was a bad time, but, you know, you didn't have tariffs, and you had tariffs that ended in 1913. But it was the richest our country ever was. That was President McKinley. In fact, we're renaming the mountain, Mount McKinley in Alaska.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Are we going to see the end of the Internal Revenue Service? You just saw that clip from President Donald Trump. I want our viewers and subscribers to know that the United States imports $3.7 trillion of goods and services every year. Now, as far as the IRS is concerned, they collect $2.5 trillion in taxes every year. Now, so the way the numbers work out is that if President Trump and the administration have a 67% tariff on all imports of goods and services, we could raise $2.5 trillion a year through tariffs and essentially not have federal income tax for any of the citizens in our country. Now, there could still be state tax. I want to be clear about that, because the states are going to want money from us. Just, you know, we live in the state because, you know, we drive on the streets, we drive on roads, we get clean water, we get, you know, electricity and utilities, and all that infrastructure comes in part from the states. But what's interesting is that tariffs could potentially lead to the elimination of income tax. In fact, here's a message on your screen from President Trump about the formation of the External Revenue Service in January of this year, specifically on the 20th of January. So here's a tweet from the president. For far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people using the IRS. Through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements, the American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves. It is time for that to change. I'm today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. We will begin charging those that make money off of us with trade, and they will start paying finally their fair share. January 20th, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. Make America great again. Here's another clip of the president talking about taxing other countries that import goods and services into the United States of America and enriching our citizens instead of the other way around. Let's take a look.
Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury.
Now, let's hear what Howard Lutnick has to say. He's a very well-known businessman. He's actually President Trump's pick to lead the Commerce Department. He actually said that tariffs do not cause inflation. He said that in the past, there were no income taxes in the United States of America. In fact, when people said to him, hey, tariffs are going to raise the cost of goods and services and make it more expensive for Americans to buy everyday items, he said that's nonsense. He actually said that countries like India and China have a lot of tariffs but have no inflation. Let's take a look at Howard Lutnick, who is President Trump's pick for Commerce Secretary make the case for tariffs and explain that once upon a time, the United States of America was the richest country in the world and never taxed its citizens. This is an incredible clip. Take a look and let me know what you think. And in the comments below, let me know whether you support the end of the IRS. Let's take a look at what Howard Lutnick, well-known businessman and President Trump's pick for Commerce Secretary, had to say about tariffs.
At the start of the 20th century, America was the richest country on earth, and we defended our workers from unfair trade policies with tariffs. And we only made money. We had no income tax. All we did is charge other countries and foreign companies, if they wanted to sell to America, you had to pay for entry. Okay, so imagine this. The US government had no income tax. Americans got to keep all their hard-earned money, and foreigners paid the price. So now, what's happened? We have the Internal Revenue Service. That means charge us internally. Now imagine politicians who can't even balance their own checkbook, taking our money, and what do they do every year? Let's just take more, let's just take more, let's just take more. So this is how Donald Trump is going to end it and fix it. Last week, he announced that we're going to return America to greatness by creating, and today is its birthday, the External Revenue Service. So if you're always wondering, is some bureaucrat going to cut your benefits? Not under Donald Trump. Not under Donald Trump. It means foreign companies are going to pay if they want to come and sell products to the wealthiest country on earth. And if they want to compete with American workers, then let's just not tax our American.
Now that was a pretty strong case for the External Revenue Service and for tariffs and the end of federal income tax. I have a question for our viewers and subscribers. Do you think it's hard for you, for the average person, to achieve the American dream because of high federal income taxes? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This was a question that was asked of President Donald Trump in the Bronx, in New York, in a barber shop of all places. Let's take a look at the question from an everyday citizen, from our fellow American, and Trump's response. Let's take a look at this and let me know what you think.
With all this extra revenue we're going to be bringing into the country. So do you believe at some point in time we could find a way, once the country's back on its feet and getting enough revenue and paid off our debt, do you think it's possible to find a way to eliminate federal taxes?
There is a way.
And how do you feel about it?
You know, in the old days, when we were a smart country, in the 1890s and all, this is when the country was relatively the richest it ever was. It had all tariffs. It didn't have an income tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now we have income taxes, and we have people that are dying. They're paying tax, and they don't have the money to pay the tax. No, in the old days, 1890, 1880, we had so much money, they had to set up committees, blue ribbon committees, how to spend our wealth. We had no idea how to spend it with so much money. Then we went to the income tax system, and the rest is sort of history. But no, there is a way. I mean, if what I'm planning comes out, it's a great question, by the way.
Everyone could attain the American dream.
You're a pretty sophisticated cat, you know.
Everyone could attain the American dream if it wasn't for the high cost, the burden of high taxes, and we're taxed at every step of the way.
Yeah.
When we make it, when we spend
regulations. And regulations. So I cut more regulations in 4 years than any other president by 4 times. Yeah, let's go. You would ask one question.
So that was it, everyone. We are potentially looking at the end of the IRS. This could happen. We are looking at taxes. We are looking at the formation of the External Revenue Service and a big change in the flow of money in our country, potentially in all of our futures. Can this actually happen? I would say the odds are 60% in favor of the end of the IRS. It's not going to happen overnight. It could take a couple of years, but I think I think President Trump means business. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, the economy, and our money. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Tell your friends and family about the Ignition Time channel. I'm looking forward to providing you with information to help you make sense of this crazy world that we live in. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.